In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I think would make an excellent essential album for any collection. Come on in. Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hoping a great morning this morning. It is Tuesday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Going to continue my essential albums to start anyone's collection with. Shown a couple of great ones so far. Behind me, The Who's Next. That's a deluxe version, by the way. It's fantastic. The live tracks on here are to die for. And I've also shown and recommended The Doors, the compilation album, Weird Scenes Inside the Gold Mine. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. So I want to continue this series. I think it's a fun series to do. I'm not going to show anything bizarre because that may scare people away if they're considering starting a collection. Arthur Brown and that type of thing, that may be later on. Don't start with those ones first. Maybe some Gentle Giants, don't start with some of those, or even some Zappa stuff. There's some awesome Zappa stuff you may want to start with, but not some of the out there stuff. So this one's going to be a pretty safe bet. One of my favorite albums from one of my favorite bands ever. And without hesitation, if someone asked me that they were thinking of starting a collection, and what albums should they start with? They want to get into classic rock. They want to get into progressive rock. Without hesitation, definitely without hesitation, Deep Purple, Machine Head. This was my first album I ever bought way back when I was 12, 13 years old. Some 52 years later, 53 years later. Still sounds amazing today. Obviously, this is not the original one I had. I've got 3 different versions that I'll share with you in a moment. So some 53 years later, this still sounds amazing. It's a near perfect album in my opinion. Every track is a single, or could be a single. One of the greatest albums of the 70s by one of the greatest bands of the 70s as well, Deep Purple. Formed way back in London in 1968. One of the pioneers of hard rock and heavy metal, along with Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and those type of bands, Uriah Heep. Listed as one of the loudest bands ever, based on a concert in London's Rainbow Theatre way back in 1972. They sold 100 million albums worldwide. If it wasn't for Deep Purple, there wouldn't be bands like Captain Beyond, Rainbow, Whitesnake, Gillan. A lot of those bands wouldn't be around today, as a lot of the previous members from Deep Purple went on to form or become part of those bands. Their musical style definitely has changed over the years. Their first 3 albums were more psychedelic and progressive. You got the Mark I version. They're always called Marks. Mark I right up through Mark IX, I believe it is. So the original version of the band had singer Rod Evans and bassist Nick Simper. Rod Evans, amazing singer on his own right. He was part of Captain Beyond. You also had Ritchie Blackmore, of course, on guitar, keyboardist John Lord, and drummer Ian Pace, one of the greatest drummers ever, in my opinion. And also the only original member still with the band. He's been on every album that the band has put out throughout their career. But the band wanted to change. Ritchie Blackmore wanted to change. So overnight they became a hard rock legend. They dropped Nick Simper. They dropped Rod Evans. They brought in the amazing vocalist Ian Gillan and the heavier bass player Roger Glover with their 1970 album Deep Purple in Rock. It's a close favorite. I mean, these guys are, I think, tied. And the Mark II version of the band was formed. As I said, the latest version of the band is Mark IX, with their new guitarist Simon McBride, an amazing, amazing guitarist. A lot of lineup changes throughout the years. The band has remained constant, putting out amazing albums. Some so-so, but for the most part, some amazing albums. But this one here. So yeah, if you're starting out with a collection, this would be right up there as one of the first ones I would ever get. Yeah, the sixth album by the band, 1971, recorded in Montrose, Switzerland, released on March 30th, 1972. The third album with the Mark II version of the band. Again, Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Ian Pace, John Lord, Roger Glover. During the making of this album, they used the Rolling Stones mobile unit and booked the Montreux Casino as a venue, along with Frank Zappa and the Mothers. Some idiot came in with a flare gun, shot it into the ceiling, and burned the casino down to the ground. So they had no place to record, so they found a nearby theater that had been closed up for the winter. And it was abandoned, called the Grand Hotel. It was freezing to death, tight recording space, but they made it their own, and that's where the song Smoke on the Water came from. And that's, I think, how the magic of this album came from, that what they were left with and what they had to record and considered a true commercial success and one of the most influential albums of all time. I know every track on this one. I know every note. I know every drum roll. I've got 3 different versions, so that, of course, this is not the original. This is a remastered version. I also have a anniversary 2 CD edition with unissued guitar solos and remixes. Plus, it features the track "When a Blind Man Cries," one of my favorite tracks. There's the tight quarters there, if you can see on the, like they were just like on a closet type of thing. I like the guitar solos, the different ones, but obviously I prefer the originals. I mean, Ritchie Blackmore was definitely a virtuoso when it came to guitar solos, but I prefer the originals for this one. And I also have this amazing anniversary edition. This is the 5 CD deluxe edition, 50th anniversary of this fantastic album, remixed and by Dweezil Zappa. Yeah, it's got the vinyl on here. It also has 3 CDs and a Blu-ray. Amazing stuff. All kinds of concerts on here, remixes, remasters, Blu-ray Atmos, quad mixes, 5.1 mixes. Yeah, I had to have this one in my collection for sure. So yeah, you've got amazing tracks on here. I go between my favorite side 1 or my favorite side 2. Side 1 is more the singles, in my opinion. Highway Star, of course, you hear that on classic rock radio 5 times a day. Maybe I'm a Leo, Pictures of Home, Never Before. I love those 3 tracks. Underrated tracks. The drumming in those tracks are just fantastic. And then on side 2, you got the heavier tracks, Smoke on the Water and Space Truckin'. And right smack dab in the middle is 7 minutes and 19 seconds of the jazzy and bluesy Lazy, where there's no vocals for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the track. So I go between loving side 1, loving side 2, or just loving the whole album. If it wasn't for Machine Head, in my opinion, we wouldn't have Made in Japan. 5 of the tracks off of this one are from Machine Head. You've got Highway Star, Lazy, Smoke in the Water, Space Truckin'. Sorry, I said 5. There's 24 in here. You also have Child in Time from Deep Purple and Rock. You've got the Mule. What else is that's it? Yeah, Highway Star, Child in Time, Strange Kind of Woman, Lazy, Smoke on the Water, The Mule, and side 4 is all space trucking. It's a fantastic, one of the greatest live albums of that time, maybe ever. Maybe ever. But Deep Purple, again, one of my favorite bands. Machine Head, one of my favorite albums. Definitely an essential album to start any collection with. And it's a classic. It's timeless. It still sounds just as good today as it ever did. So there you have it, guys. Thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful day. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.